Hi everyone, welcome to the next declutter video in this series. I've been doing a bunch of these videos to help keep you company during this isolation time, and of course to force myself to go through and narrow down my own collection. If you want to check out any of the other decluttering videos that have been posted so far, I will link in the upper right hand corner for you the playlist so you can go binge watch that if you like. In this video, we're going to take a look at my liquid lipsticks collection, which is ginormous. I haven't counted them yet, but this may be the largest selection of makeup items that I have in any one category, which is really weird because I honestly don't really like liquid lipsticks that much, at least not the traditional kind of more dry matte liquid lipstick formula. In the past couple of years, they've really improved on that kind of liquid lipstick to make it more flexible, not as drying. So I do like those more, but a large part of this collection is more old school formulas, so I'm hoping to really narrow down this collection of liquid lipsticks. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you keep watching. Please subscribe to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button and hitting that notification bell. Of course, please follow Allura Beauty on Instagram. And if you want to check out any of the other videos, please do that. Notably, there is a recent swatch and collection review for one of Revlon's newest collections. In fact, I don't think it's in drugstores yet, but it's their Tropical Vibes collection, which really surprised me. So if you want to check out that more traditional kind of swatch video that's usually on my channel, I'll link that in the upper right hand corner for you too. All right, let's get looking at my personal collection of liquid lipsticks. Again, just because I do or do not declutter something does not mean that's the right way to do it. It's just based on my personal preference and tolerance. And when I say I'm going to get rid of something or eliminate it from my collection, it does not mean I'm throwing it in the trash. My first priority is to be able to give it to friends or family if they are comfortable with that being passed along. If it's something new and unused, then to be able to donate that to places like Women's Shelter or include it in a giveaway if it is new. And my third option is to recycle it. If it can't be passed along, to clean out the tube and recycle the packaging. You can check out TerraCycle to see if that's an option for you. Otherwise, your normal recycling bin. The very last option is to just throw it in the trash. That's really not an ideal option. So our first step, as always, is I'm gonna dump all of these out and we're gonna count what the number of liquid lipsticks we are starting with is. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and count them up and we'll see what the starting number is that we have. Okay, so in this pile I have 34, and then these are piles of 50. So 134 liquid lipsticks is the damage that we're trying to minimize in this video. Now, in past videos, I am notoriously bad at having an accurate start count because I'll, in the middle of going through things, realize that there are things mixed in the collection that are not in that category that I'm looking at for that video. So I'm gonna do a quick visual check to try to make sure that all of these things are actually liquid lipsticks and that our actual starting point is 134. Okay, so good thing I checked. I found 3 that probably are not best in this category. They are kind of more like gloss stains, but I do think they would be more appropriate in the gloss category. So one was a ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Sookie. Which looks like that. Then there's a Laura Geller Lip Pop Lush Waterproof Lip Gloss in the shade Nolita Pink. And last is a Becca Ultimate Color Gloss in the shade Flamingo Crush. Absolutely love this formula. So I'm going to keep the Becca one here and I am going to declutter the other 2. So that means if I caught everything that was not supposed to be a liquid lip gloss, our starting point is 131 liquid lipsticks. All right, before I divide all of these up into color categories, the first thing I'm going to do is a quick visual check to eliminate things that I know I'm going to keep or that I know I do not want to keep. So right off the bat, these 2 products from L'Oreal. These are from the Infallible line. They are called the Never Fail Liquid or Lip Color Compacts. They come in these duos. These are at least probably close to maybe 10 years old, at least more than 5 years old. I don't know if any of you remember these, but they came in these almost like cigarette looking cases. And on one side you would have the lip color, and they would be pretty darn drying. You would let them set, and then on the other side you would have this balm that you put on top, because it would be so drying and pruning that you would need something to kind of seal it and to mitigate that pruniness. These are first just really, really old, and second, I don't love the formula. I don't want to have to do these 2 steps, so these are definitely going to go into the recycling bin. And ones that I know I am going to keep, this entire line of still L'Oreal. You can see look at the progression in history, going from something like this many years ago to now what L'Oreal has released. This is one of my all-time favorite, holy grail, best formulated lip colors. They have more of a gel consistency rather than a matte cream traditional liquid lipstick consistency. What is this line specifically called? I had to look at my own channel to find the video and figure out what these were called. I really don't like it when the name of the product is not on the packaging, but anyway, these are L'Oreal's Rouge Signature Matte Inks. And I have several videos swatching them. I think I did one for the original set, and then they had like a Parisian sunset collection with select shades. So I will link those in the upper right hand corner for you to check out if you're interested in. But in any case, I know that I want to keep every single color possible in this range because the formula is unsurpassed. It is excellent. So I'm gonna pick out all of these, and then I'll show you how many of them we're keeping. Okay, I think I caught all of them. Does anyone else love the sound of just makeup products clinking up against each other? I know it's weird, but I find it very comforting actually. So there are a total that I have of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 shades in this formula. So I am keeping all 16 of those for sure. Okay, let's see. Oh, there are a few liquid lipsticks or retro matte liquid lip colors from MAC that I have never opened, and they are unused. They are in the shades Oh Lady, Topped with Brandy, and Young Attitude. So because these are new and unused, I am going to keep these. All right, anything else that I know for sure I do not? Oh, one more of the L'Oreal ones. So that's what, 17 now? Anything else I do not or do definitely want to keep? Oh, this one from Kaleidos. This is one of their lip tonics they released it during or around the time when the collections for Chinese New Year were being released. I don't believe it's limited edition. I do think it's permanent. This is in the shade Collision, and it is absolutely mind-blowingly stunning. It's this kind of metallic red. The metallic finish is pretty subtle, but it is gorgeous on the lips. It has a really nice non-drying formula too, so I'm definitely keeping that one. And then, is there anything else that I immediately know I am or am not going to keep? I don't think so. I'm sure there are, but I'll have to wait until I'm going through them individually to make, oh, this one. This is one of Fenty Beauty's, I believe it came out with the holiday collection from 2019. It came in a little ornament, but this is one of the Stunna lip paints in the shade Underdog. And I think can't remember if it's a mini or not, but again, an absolutely stunning kind of deeper vampy color with a great formula. So I'm definitely keeping that one too. And lastly, there's this Givenchy Encre Interdite lip ink 24 wear in the shade 02 Arty Pink. This has a very nice formula to it also, but let's see actually. Yeah, that's a beautiful color. actually, but I think I will pass this along to a family member or a friend. Because these kinds of things you're re-dipping in there, it's really hard to sanitize them, so it's not appropriate to kind of pass it along to someone you don't really know, obviously if they feel comfortable, but you know, if it's my friends or my family member, they feel comfortable with taking that, then that might be an option. So I think just, I don't know, just because I'm not wowed by it and I have glosses in similar colors, I'll go ahead and pass it along. Does leave a really nice stain though. Here's the other shade released with that other red one by Kaleidos. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. Both of them are super beautiful. Again, very comfortable, lovely red formula. And then these three from Bobbi Brown are fairly new to my collection. They are 3 shades of the Crushed Liquid Lips. I have to admit, this is actually not my favorite formula. It's between I guess a liquid lipstick and a gloss. It's very comfortable to wear. I just wish it had a little more staying power, but because they are so new in my collection and they are comfortable to wear, I'm not gonna get rid of these. I'm going to keep these. Okay, I think I've picked out my immediate reaction items. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide these up into color categories. Oh, I lied. One more set that I'm going to keep. These are the Wet n Wild Megalast Stained Glass Lip Glosses. Again, a fantastic formula that feels like a weightless gloss but gives incredible staying power. I will link that also in the upper right hand corner if you want to see all of these swatched on the lips, and you can see in the video when I try to scrub them off how amazing of a staying power that these have. Oh, there's one more. I knew there was one more. There's 5 of them total, so I'm keeping all 5 of these. Okay, now let's go ahead and divide into color families. I was wrong. There's 6 of them. All right, well, I had this Maybelline Superstay 10 Stay Gloss, and I was opening up to see what the shade looked like inside, and the applicator fell off. So that is an easy recycling bin toss. Okay, so here are my rough color categories. The other thing with liquid lipsticks is that they, as you can maybe even see from me handling that broken applicator, they are very good at staining the skin. So it's going to be really interesting to see how I'm going to be able to swatch all of these shades. I think I'll put down a layer of maybe foundation or primer or something. Inevitably my skin will get stained, but we're just going to have to deal with that in order to swatch all of these. All right, we're gonna start over here with the nude shades. I did put down a layer of foundation and just light powder to try to protect my skin at least a little bit. So first we're gonna start with one of the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear lipsticks. Now I'll tell you right now, I am not a lover of this formula, so I anticipate decluttering a lot of these. This is in the shade Melted Sugar. One of ColourPop's Ultra Matte Lips in the shade Midi. Beautiful color. Now I have 2 of these Milani ones. One is in the traditional matte formula, the other is in the matte satin formula. The matte original is in 10 Adorable and the satin formula is in 02 Luxe. I'll tell you right now that I'm always going to prefer the satin matte formula because the matte formula is more drying. These do have like a sugary bakery smell to them. Next is a Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade 60 Poet. A Sugar Rush Sugar Coat in this shade Cupcake. Kaleidos' Lip Tonic in the shade Infusion. Beautiful. Another ColourPop Satin Lip in the shade Magic Wand. Another Kaleidos Lip Tonic in the shade Injection. A Maybelline Superstay Ink Matte Ink in the shade Seductress. A L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade, this is from the La Macron collection, this is in the shade Mon Caramel. Oh, so pretty. Another Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Amazonian. And a Smashbox Always On Liquid lipstick in the shade True Grit. I have a lot in this line also. Ooh, this one is super dried out. Okay, so easy decision to get rid of that Smashbox one. Also going to get rid of the second to last one, Amazonian by Maybelline. I don't really wear these warmer tone shades. Then I'm gonna get rid of this Kaleidos one, again, just because the warmer tones I don't wear, that's Injection. Also gonna get rid of the one next to it, that is ColourPop's Magic Wand. And I'm gonna get rid of the first three. That first one by Too Faced in Melted Sugar. The second one, it dries to too matte of a finish and starts to crack, which is Midi. And then even the next one, because it's in that more drying matte formula from Milani, which was adorable. Okay, moving on to pink shades, another Too Faced Melted Liquefied Lipstick in Peony. Sugar Rush Sugar Coat in Cake Pop. Profusion Matte Lip Cream in the shade, does not have a shade on there. A Too Faced Metallic Lip in the shade Flitter. Milani Satin Matte Formula in Plush. Another Too Faced Melted in Chihuahua. It's a Jade product, G-A-D-E. This is one of their Idyllic Matte Lip colors in the shade Pink Punch. A Smashbox Always On Liquid lipstick in Babe Alert. Yeah, these are all dried out. A Milani Traditional Matte Formula shade in Precious. ColourPop Matte Lip Color in Lumiere 2. And a Melted Metal Liquefied Lipstick by Too Faced in Macaron. Ooh, this is a pretty bright shade. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the last 5 shades here. So the Too Faced Metallic Macaron, ColourPop's Lumiere 2, Milani's Precious, Smashbox's Babe Alert, which is pretty much dried out, and the Jade color in Pink Punch. Also getting rid of this metallic ColourPop one in Flitter, and the one next to it, which was that one by Profusion, and getting rid of the first Too Faced one in Peony. Okay, moving on to kind of peachy corally shades. The first two are NYX Intense Butter Glosses. We start with the shade Sorbet and the shade Napoleon. Then 2 melted liquefied lipsticks from Too Faced. The first one is a metal one, the second one is a traditional formula one. So the first one is Tutu. Second one is Melon. Then we've got 2 ColourPop. I don't know if they're both matte. The first one is matte. This is in Donut. And the second one is in Solo. Then a Milani one in Loved. A Rimmel Show Off lip lacquer in the shade Stellar. Super bright, wow. And a Smashbox one in the shade Blast Off. Ay, super dried out once again. Okay, I'm only gonna keep one of these, and that's the really bright Rimmel one. All right, then these are kind of mauve-y shades, and these are more like carnation mauve shades. So let's start with this one. This is ColourPop's, I think this is a matte one in the shade Bumble. Next is a Milani Satin Matte in the shade Velour. The formula on this one's kind of weird. Feels like it's separated a bit. Let's try that again. Okay, much better. And another ColourPop one. This is a metallic one in Queen. Ooh, I think this one's dried out. Oh yeah, it's super dried out. Okay, moving on to the mauves. A Mega Last Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild in the shade Rebel Rose. Ooh, that one's a little bit dried out too, but it's fine now, it looks like. ColourPop Satin Lip in the shade Dopey. An Innisfree product, a Vivid Cotton Ink in the shade 11. These have that gel texture to them. An NYC Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in the shade 04, soft spoken. And finally, another Maybelline Superstay Stain Gloss. I really liked this formula in this line. I don't believe they make it anymore. But this also, when I took it out, the applicator fell off too. So I don't know what's going on with those, but of course, not gonna keep that. Okay, I'm only gonna keep 3 of these. This one by Milani in Velour. And then this ColourPop one in the shade Dopey, and the Innisfree one next to it. Since I have a little more room here, let's go to this set, which is kind of the fiery corally reds, starting with NYX's, this might actually just be orange, so I guess the orangey shades. NYX's Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Banana Split. Another Innisfree product in the shade number 1. Lime Crime liquid lipstick in Suede Berry. And a Smashbox one in the shade Thrill Seeker. I can't believe how uniformly these have all dried out. So I'm actually going to keep all of those except for the last Smashbox one. Okay, let's move on to reds. We're really gonna get into the territory of leaving stains behind here. First, a Too Faced Melted Lipstick in Strawberry. These come out really liquidy at first. So I squeeze some of that product out. I'm gonna swatch right next to it. I just really don't enjoy this formula now that there are improvements on the liquid lipstick formula. I just really don't. Next is Innisfree in the shade 12. Ooh, that's super deep. Milani Traditional Matte in the shade Amour. ColourPop Matte in the shade Creeper. That one is a little bit dried out. Smashbox in the shade Bang Bang. Definitely dried out. A NYX Liquid Suede in shade 11, which is Kitten Heels. Another NYX Intense Butter Gloss in Apple Crisp. Rimmel Show Off Lip Lacquer in the shade Big Bang. Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Missy and Fierce. Too Faced Melted in the shade Ruby. I'm going to squeeze out some product first before I swatch. Innisfree in the shade 14. Rimmel Show Off in the shade Burning Lava. Milani Matte in Devotion. Too Faced Melted in the shade Velvet. Again, I squeezed out a little product before swatching. Ooh, it's still pretty liquidy. Matte Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color in Carnivorous. And a Smashbox one in the shade Disorderly. Dried out too. When I swatched the MAC one, it made me think of the Fenty one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. I'm gonna swatch it here just for comparison. So the one from Fenty is much more opaque. Okay, I'm getting rid of a bunch of these, so I'm just gonna tell you which ones I'm going to keep. I'm gonna keep this Rimmel one in the shade Burning Lava, this NYX Catsuit one in the shade Missy and Fierce, keep this really bright Rimmel one with the glossy finish in the shade Big Bang. This NYX one in the shade Kitten Heels. And I'm actually going to keep this Milani Traditional Matte formulated one just because it's really bright, even though I'd prefer it to be less drying. That one is in the shade Amour. The rest are being eliminated from the collection. I'm gonna try to squeeze in this kind of berry toned shade ones. First is a Smashbox one. I don't think I'll even bother swatching it. This is in Big Spender. It's definitely dried out. Next is a Rimmel Show Off in the shade Apocalyptic. NYX Extreme Lip Cream in the shade XLC. Too Faced Melted in the shade Berry. A Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Berry Recognize. ColourPop Matte Lip in the shade Notion. Rimmel Show Off in the shade Meteoric Matte. Okay, this reveals my weakness for berry toned lip shades. I'm only going to get rid of the Too Faced one, which was this one right here, the third swatched. So that shade right there. Okay, moving on to more traditional purple shades. The first one by Smashbox I won't swatch because I'm going to guess that it's dried out. This is called Let's Dance. Yep, totally dried. Then we start with 4 ColourPop shades. This one is a satin lip in Marshmallow. Super gray toned. Next is a matte one in Koala. Next is a satin one in the shade Molly. And next is another satin one in Femme. Too Faced Melted in the shade Fig. A Kaleidos Lip Tonic in the shade Immersion. Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Huntress. Wow, that's basically gray. Very little purple in that. I don't see any purple, to be honest. A NYX Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Space Cake. Lime Crime Utopia. Another NYX Intense Butter Gloss in Marshmallow. Lime Crime in Fetish. ColourPop Satin Lip in Panda. A Senna Cosmetics Lip Lacquer in Mulberry. Milani Satin Matte in the shade Crimson Curse. A Physicians Formula Sexy Booster Sexy Glow Glossy Stain in pink. Oh, that applicator, what is going on? This is ridiculous. I've never had this problem before making this video. The applicator is kaput, so that's kind of the color there, but definitely not keeping this. Another Smashbox one, completely dried out, won't even bother swatching it. ColourPop Satin Lip in the shade Hutch. And a NYX Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Black Cherry Tart. All right, once again, gonna get rid of more than I'm gonna keep, so I'll just tell you the ones I'm gonna keep. These 2 satin lips from ColourPop in the shades Molly and Femme. The Kaleidos Lip Tonic in Immersion. I really like this kind of like sheer stain quality. This shade by Lime Crime Utopia. This shade by ColourPop, another satin lip in Panda. and the second to last shade, another ColourPop Satin Lip in Hutch. And finally, we have magentas and fuchsias, starting with a NYX Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Funnel Delight. ColourPop Matte Lip in the shade Sunday. Lime Crime in Pink Velvet. ColourPop Matte Lip in Mars. ColourPop Satin Lip in the Rabbit. Too Faced Melted in Candy. This is Too Faced in Jelly Donut. It is so grody. The oil is kind of seeping out. I tried to squeeze out product, but it's still really oily, so that's what it looks like. Okay, once again, I'm only going to keep 2 of these. This one by ColourPop, the third to last in Rabbit, or The Rabbit, and the Lime Crime one, the third one swatched in Pink Velvet. All right, so this is the pile of ones we are going to get rid of. I am happy, just my first reaction is I'm happy how many I'm going to be decluttering. A lot of people asked to see what I have left at the end of the video. I might do, after I'm done with the series, I might just do a separate video to show what my collection looks like now, because once I declutter something, then I reorganize it, put it into different kind of containers and things like that. So I might show you that at the end. For now, I'm gonna count how many we're gonna get rid of. Okay, so 50 plus 15 is 65 that we are getting rid of. So that is nearly half the collection. I am so happy. That's 131 minus 65 liquid lipsticks leaves me with 66 liquid lipsticks. So definitely my most successful declutter so far. I feel very, very happy and fulfilled about this. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope this was fun for you. Please leave any comments that you have in the comments below and give the video a thumbs up if you have a chance and you liked it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.